Hi there guys, welcome back, and today I'll be doing the next part for what if Gohan died against Raditz, and I'm not going to waste too much time, so let's get straight into it. Now, last time we left off, we had the group fight the Saiyans, with the group coming out on top only just thanks to the help of Goku's wrathful Saiyan form. Now, like normal, Chaozu and Yamcha did die, however we had the survival of Tien and Piccolo. Now, let's jump straight into it. We joined the group after they're discussing how to bring back Chaozu. After all, he is dead, and like normal, they do decide to go to Namek. And this time there's going to be two teams, one going in the Namekian ship a month before the others. And the group who took the least amount of injuries are actually the ones going first. This group is going to be Bulma, Krillin, Gohan and Tien, with it being the main team that went to Namek pretty much, but Tien. However, this does fill the ship up pretty much, so that's why Piccolo isn't going. Now, leaving Piccolo, Goku and Chi-Chi to take the next ship to Namek isn't going to take them a full month to heal, so while they're waiting for the ship to be built for them to go to Namek, they're going to be training. After all, there is a bit of free time they have, so they might as well. Now, I know in this timeline I have made Gohan a bit scareder than in canon. After all, he hasn't really done anything noticeable except get kicked around and murdered. So it's probably a bit weird that he's offering to go to Namek. However, after seeing his mother get hurt very badly, and after hearing about the people he trained with for a year die, now he feels a bit responsible for this, for not staying in the fight. Maybe they could have come out alive. So this time, Gohan is really determined to make sure that everyone who goes to Namek is going to be okay. So before the group leave for Namek, they all have a nice little party, and the day they leave, Gohan goes to visit Chi-Chi and Goku, who are still in the hospital, but they're pretty much able to move around and do what they want. It's just a final few check-up things, and gives a hug to his parents. Now, when he leaves the hospital, he gets onto the Namekian ship and takes the trip off to Namek. Now, let's just jump forward to when they arrive on Namek, because the trip there goes pretty much like normal. Now, when they arrive on Namek, like normal, the Frieza soldiers do try to fight them. However, the grouper is a bit stronger here, and they also have the addition of Tien, who is decently strong. So he actually blocks the attack that's there to destroy the ship, leaving the ship in good condition, and now the group, if need be, can leave the planet. Like normal, the group do hide in the cave, and they go off to check the village where Dende lives, because they see a Dragon Ball in that direction, and they also sensed Frieza heading that way. And yet again, this is pretty normal, with Frieza killing cargo and getting ready to kill Dende. However, unlike normal, Gohan doesn't charge down there. He doesn't try to save Dende. He freezes up, remembering the time he got murdered. Gohan stopped himself again. He's doing much better off. He's not crying. He's holding together, but it's not very much. But this also means Dende is dead now, he's murdered. And after the group watch this, they decide to take their chances and head to another Dragon Ball. They don't want to sit down and watch a village get massacred by someone who's hundreds of times stronger than them. The whole flight back, Gohan's internally beating himself up. After all, he probably could have saved a few Namekians there if he just wasn't so scared. But he's not the only one who's really scared. Krillin and Tien both fear the power of Frieza, and now they just need to try and find a way to stay out of sight and just not interact with any of the soldiers, hopefully. Now, after a few hours of jumping around trying to get the next Dragon Ball, they do actually arrive in the village that in canon Vegeta murdered. And this time it's alright. Remember, Vegeta isn't around anymore, he's dead. So when the Namekians first see the group, they assume hostiles, just because their planet's under attack at the moment. However, once the group explains themselves, the Namekians are much more welcoming, and explain they've come at a bad time to make a wish on the Dragon Balls, as the planet is under attack from Frieza. And the Namekians catch up the group with what's happening, and the group now understand what they saw in the other village a lot better. It was Frieza looking for the Dragon Balls. The group offers to try and stop Frieza, and to the best of their abilities they will try, but they are very much outmatched. And they actually offer to take the Dragon Balls off their hand and hide it away from Frieza, just so he doesn't collect all of them, with the Namekians actually thanking the group and giving them the Dragon Ball. They also offered to take the group to Elder Guru to get the next Dragon Ball, which is a good offer to everyone. However, he's a bit of a fly away, so if you want to go, you are actually going to have to fly. So like normal, they are actually going to go see Elder Guru. However, this time, instead of Dende showing them where to go, it's actually just a random warrior clan member. And instead of all of them going, Krillin is going to be the only one to go. Mostly because it will keep the cluster of powers together separate, so while they're all flying, they won't just show up on the scouters, and they should be able to hide a bit better. And while Krillin's off flying to Guru's house, Gohan and Tien are going to go drop off the Dragon Ball with Bulma. Now, like normal, Krillin does arrive at Guru's place, and like normal, he gets given the Dragon Ball. He also has an interaction with Nail, but it's pretty much the same as in canon. After all, everything here is going in like it does in canon, if not just a bit faster. However, Guru also offers to unleash Krillin's potential, and of taking the offer, obviously, it puts up his power level up to 15,450, making him stronger than Goku. Well, at least to his knowledge, the last time he saw Goku, Krillin is now stronger than him. And he decides that he's going to head back and tell Gohan and Tien to come and visit Guru. Now, while this is happening, let's go over to the Earth group, because bringing them up is just an easy jump over. Now, while everyone was travelling to Namek, everyone back on Earth has got some pretty good training in. After all, their injuries were pretty much healed when they left, with Piccolo having healed only a few hours after the battle, Goku a week, and Chi-Chi a few days after Goku. Now, when Goku gets back into fighting shape, he actually wants to try and get the form he used against Vegeta under control a bit better. After all, it really helped them, and in case there is any issues on Namek. Also, Goku believes he can now activate this form on command, however he isn't sure if he could control it, and he knows it's dangerous. So before he does any training with it, he actually talks to Piccolo and explains how he wants to train it, but doesn't want to put anyone in harm's way. So he wants to go into the hyperbolic time chamber to try and get some better training in, with Piccolo thinking this is a good idea, and also because Piccolo wants to get some better training in himself. Now, the pair enter the room, and they probably only spend 2 months in there. They don't spend much time. Goku and Piccolo both exiting, both quite strong. Goku going from power level of 7,000 to 21,000, and Piccolo going from a power level of 4,048 to 17,952. Both getting a 4 times increase. Now, when the Namek group landed on Namek, Bulma filled in everyone what had happened and what she had heard about Frieza from the other two and how strong he is, and also said that he's collecting Dragon Balls. Now, the group on Earth actually thinking they need to leave soon, head over to Capsule Corp, and the ship is ready, but like I said last time, they don't have a gravity machine. Goku's never done a day of training in gravity in his life, so there's no point and no idea towards it. Now, let's jump back to Namek, as the Earth group has decided they are leaving now and are actually on their way to Namek. Now, back on Namek, Krillin gets back and explains what Guru did and how he got the Dragon Ball, saying Tien and Gohan should go with them to get their power unlocked. And Namekian that took Krillin also brought Krillin back to where they were hidden and offers to take the pair back to Guru's. Now, I know I've not given this Namekian a name, but he doesn't really need one. He's just sort of here to take them from point A to point B. He is a warrior clan member. I don't remember if I mentioned it, but it's just something I thought everyone should know. Now, when they get to Guru's house, which takes them an hour or two, the pair get their powers unlocked again, with Tien's power going from 2,250 to 15,705, and Gohan getting his increase from 2,000 to 15,000. Now remember, this is the initial increase, and it's not the full one. The group will be seeing the benefits of having their power partially unlocked. After all, they are probably now strong enough to take Zarbon and Dodoria on if they work together. Now, when Gohan and Tien go to leave, Tien actually asks them some questions, with Gohan and Tien trusting Nail. After all, he is the guardian of the Elder of this planet, so he must be a trustworthy guy. And also, Gohan sees a lot of Piccolo in him, and even though Gohan and Piccolo haven't interacted a lot, because Gohan's father trusts him, yeah, he trusts him as well. Now, the two fighters can sense that Nail is amazingly strong and would actually help them deal with Frieza a bit better, but Nail explains he can't leave Guru undefended and will show up to help if need be. I know in my King Cold What If I actually had him leave Guru, but that's because he was on the brink of death, and also there were much stronger opponents there. They needed every bit of backup they could get. Now, the group know how to get back to the place they are hiding, so they do just fly back, with the warrior Namekian actually staying at Guru's house to defend Nail as well. Now, when the group get back, Gohan, Tien, and Krillin decide to start planning on how to get the other Dragon Balls. After all, they have 2 of them, so this is going to slow Frieza down a little bit. And they actually do come up with a plan. They know that Frieza is leaving constantly to go and get Dragon Balls, so maybe if they just wait until he next leaves to go and get a Dragon Ball, they should be okay. After all, Frieza's the biggest power level there, and if he's to leave, everyone else in that ship is sort of easy for the group to take down, minus Zarbon and Dodoria. But if they were to work together, they can do it. Now, it's probably a day later, and Frieza actually leaves his ship. You know, just look around for the other Dragon Ball. After all, his men have been coming back empty-handed for the last 24 hours. Starting to stress him out a little bit. So he goes to do it. His job. And they see this as their best chance to grab the balls as quickly as they can. They still keep their power level suppressed, and just so they don't get picked up by Frieza and he turns around to come and get them, but they manage to get to the ship, and even when they're quite heavily suppressed, they're enough to take down any Frieza soldiers that happen to be there. So once they've got all the balls, they fly away, and they've pretty much got all the balls, and at this point the group are probably seeing the full increase from Guru's potential unlocked, with Krillin having a power level of 22,660, Tien having a power level of 24,750, and Gohan having a power level of 26,000. I'm giving Gohan a bit of a bigger increase here because the others are humans, and him being half Saiyan, he has a higher potential. It all just sort of went in Gohan's favour. Now, like I said, the group do have all 5 Dragon Balls, and Frieza doesn't actually know that they've got them yet. So when they take it back to Bulma, and they get ready to make the wish, and they try to summon the dragon, and it doesn't appear, it confuses Bulma, and it confuses everyone else. But Bulma is very quick on her feet and actually thinks that maybe there's a secret password that only Namekians know. With the group thinking this is quite logical, everyone grabs Bulma and the Dragon Balls and they head towards Guru's house. Now when arriving, Nail and the other warrior Namekian are shocked to see all the Dragon Balls. They quickly explain what they need to do, and Nail offers to make the wishes for them. It's around this time that Frieza has made it back to his ship empty-handed. He didn't find any other Dragon Balls, but it's alright because he's got 5 Dragon Balls. Oh wait, he doesn't. Frieza screams. He's so angry. And the Frieza soldiers that try to explain what happened are just murdered on sight. Frieza then flies out of his ship, with Zarbon and Dodoria following him. And at this point the group can sense him. He's angry and coming their way. They begin to make their wishes as fast as they possibly can. And with the first wish, they do bring Chaozu back to life. And the second one, they need to think of fast. Bulma shouts out to bring back the group who's on their way to Namek and do it fast, which would be Goku, Piccolo and Chi-Chi. They all just sort of appear in front of the group, and they're really confused. Sensing Frieza, they begin to panic. Gohan, Krillin and Tien shout for them to go into the house, which is literally right next to them, with them not really thinking too much of it, just quickly run in. And now I just want to say, Guru's actually pretty healthy here. He's not as close to death as he was in canon. This is happening much faster than it did in canon, so there's not a lot to worry about. The 3 fighters get their potential unlocked, and they get a little bit stronger from this. And not only that, they got a bit stronger from the training on the way to Namek. So I'll cover this first, and then I'll cover their increases from Guru. Goku got to a power level of 23,000 on his way to Namek, which isn't a lot, but it's alright. Piccolo got to 21,000, and Chi-Chi got to 3,000. With the increases from Guru, Goku goes from a power level of 23,000 to 161,000, Piccolo goes to 147,000, and Chi-Chi goes to 21,000. Now, Frieza, seeing the massive dragon in the sky, obviously flies towards it, and starts demanding answers from the group when he lands. And the group, hoping Frieza would understand, they don't really have a lot of options right now. They just sort of say it was an accident, they didn't know they belonged to him. And this actually pisses Frieza off, and he goes to shoot a death beam towards Chi-Chi. Goku at this point is actually pretty strong, and if Frieza was holding back, it's enough for Goku to smack it away. This does burn Goku's hand. But Frieza's now interested in Goku. He's never seen anyone being able to do that, and is a little surprised. Maybe he held back a little bit too much, but, you know, he's impressed. Frieza asks who Goku is, and Goku explains that he's Son Goku from Earth. He's a Saiyan who was born and raised there. Well, he's not really born, but he just said it. Frieza is interested, as it seems he's missed another Saiyan. He then says that he only knows 3 other Saiyans that were alive, and names off all the other Saiyans that Goku had killed so far. Goku then explains that he had murdered 2 of them when they attacked his home planet. Frieza, taking an interest in Goku, actually starts asking a few more questions, and Goku soon explains that he managed to kill Vegeta like last month. Frieza, being shocked and this explaining where Vegeta had been, actually thanks Goku for saving him a bit of energy. He never really liked Vegeta, he was too loud, always talking about some Super Saiyan something. So thank you for saving him the energy. And for that, if you give me the last wish with this dragon, I will make all of your deaths painless. Goku, not really wanting to mess around, gets into a fighting stance, and Zarbon and Dodoria actually get up to, kill the group, but is soon stopped when Gohan stands out in front of them in a fighting stance. He's shaking and he's sweating, but he's ready to go. Dodoria laughing at this and goes to swiftly take out Gohan. Gohan blocks it and knocks Dodoria out in one hit. Dodoria was holding back heavily, so he wasn't expecting this sort of resistance. So this small display of power from Gohan was probably enough to take him down, even though the power difference between them is not a lot. Next, Zarbon decides to try and get rid of Gohan. However, before he can, Chi-Chi, Krillin and Tien just decide to get rid of him as fast as possible. Gohan actually stood up and did something, and Goku's super proud of him. Alongside everyone else who's seen this boy be very scared all the time, they're so proud and actually say something. Gohan, who smiles towards the group, and he's happy that he managed to do it, and then he lets out a little whimper of fear and starts to hide behind everyone again. Frieza's shocked to see that not only is Goku alive, these people are surprisingly strong. Strong enough to take out Dodoria and Zarbon, not strong enough to deal with him. However, Frieza's being way too confident for the situation he's in. Frieza gets out of his throne and says, "Who will I be fighting first?" And Goku says, "Oh, that'll be me," and steps out in front and starts warming up in front of Frieza, who isn't really ready for this. And Piccolo stands there with a smile, turns to everyone and says, "We should probably get back. Frieza's being too confident and Goku can do something here." Goku then tells Frieza to come at him, and Frieza does so, but before he can make contact, Goku sends him flying. Everyone feels Goku's power level skyrocket all of a sudden, and he turns to the group, gives a brief nod, and then they see an intent of murder sweep over Goku's face. Krillin, Chi-Chi, Tien, they all recognise it, but suddenly Goku just flies towards Frieza and starts beating down on Frieza. There's just nothing Frieza can do. Unfortunately for Frieza, he underestimated his opponent, and Goku's not willing to give Frieza a chance. Krillin then points out how that's not how Goku normally fights. Piccolo, with a smirk on his face, looks over to everyone and explains that Goku and him went into the time chamber for 2 months, and they were doing some training, and Goku actually knew how to unlock this form again. So at the start he was very hesitant to use it, but after some training, Goku learned how to sort of control it. He didn't fully understand how it worked, but Goku can now sort of distinguish friend from foe, and he can also choose where to aim his fury at. This is surprising to the group. It's only been 2 months and Goku's done this. Now, for an idea of where Goku stands compared to Frieza, his increase puts him at 1.6 mil. He is double Frieza's first form strength, and because he's not giving Frieza a chance to transform, Goku just flat out kills Frieza. Then powers down from his wrathful form, flies back to his friends, and with a smile, looking dead at Krillin, telling him, "I told you I'd learn to control it." And I'm actually going to end this part here. Namek's saga was very easy and not too much of a threat. Everyone in it survived, and they've even brought Chaozu back, and now they can wish Yamcha back with the last wish on the Dragon Ball. I do realise that sometimes I either don't cover the events on Namek, or they're really easy. The only exception I have is the King Cold one, where the Namek saga was much, much longer. But the other sagas, the other what ifs where I've covered the Namek saga, are very simply done. But I think that's just because in this situation, I don't believe Goku has enough control over his wrathful form to hold back and see how far he can push the fight with Frieza. So, out of his fury, just murders Frieza. And like I said, he doesn't have full control. He will at some point, but he doesn't for now. And that's why this situation ended with Frieza dying pretty easily. I don't understand why I kill Frieza off so fast sometimes. Even in the What If King Cold, I didn't give Frieza a chance. I love him as a character, I just don't know. Sometimes I think there's situations where he should have just gone down. Anyway, that's all I'm going to say. I want to say I hope you have a good day or a great night, and hopefully you'll see you next time.